There are 7 specific SML characters that perfectly embody the 7 deadly sins. But if we flip this upside down, we find another set of characters that represent the exact opposite, the 7 heavenly virtues. In this video, we're going to be comparing the SML characters that embody the 7 deadly sins versus their corresponding heavenly virtues, starting with Gluttony versus Temperance. Most people describe the sin of gluttony as eating copious amounts of food for pleasure, but it also represents an uncontrolled overindulgence in anything such as alcohol, money, or even fame. No other SML character represents gluttony better than Brooklyn Guy, with his weed brownies, alcohol consumption, and even unsavory acts with strippers. Brooklyn Guy is constantly in the pursuit for pleasure. On the flip side, Marvin is a living embodiment of temperance, which is described as emotional constraint or self-control. They both have pretty similar traits, but their behavior could not be any more different. On most days, Brooklyn Guy is either drunk, high on his special brownies, or finding ways to cheat on his wife.
Oh, sweet Jesus. If I had any money left, I'd give it to her, and she'd forget I existed.
But his gluttony is best shown in Brooklyn Guy's guilt, where he gets a call late at night from the police chief to put out a house fire. But because he stayed up late partaking in pleasureful activities such as drinking and watching the heat, he missed a call resulting in over 50 people dying from a house fire. But Brooklyn Guy has actually tried to change his ways. In the video Brooklyn Guy's Makeover, Brooklyn Guy becomes self-conscious about his appearance after a burn patient mocks him for his baldness. Seeking a change, he consults Marvin, who introduces him to Chef Pee-Pee's cousin Gay Tony for a makeover. The transformation includes new legs, hair restoration, and a fresh wardrobe, leading Brooklyn Guy to adopt a more confident persona. However, this newfound confidence results in reckless behavior, such as visiting a strip club and bringing a hooker back to his home, which obviously does not go over too well with his wife Karen.
He's on the couch with the stripper!
Humana, pow, right in the kisser. Oh man, that was great. I didn't have to take my suit off. Anyway, you can leave. The post-nut clarity's starting to kick in.
But to further emphasize his gluttony, in Brooklyn Guy's tax fraud, an error happens in his taxes and Brooklyn Guy gets $200,000 from the IRS. But instead of doing the right thing and returning the money, he decides to use it to buy Applebee's.
Sir, are you sure you need 10 artichoke dips?
Need? No. Deserve? Yes.
He also uses it to go to the strip club.
Hey Marvin, you think if I gave her 50 grand she'd bang me? Yeah.
And he even goes to Paris.
I don't really see a lot of black people though, so I don't really get the song.
Eventually though, the IRS catches him and Uncle Sam takes him to court, where he is ordered to pay back all of the money that he stole from the IRS, showing that Brooklyn Guy clearly learned nothing. In contrast, Marvin is the complete opposite. With his emotional restraint and moral compass, Marvin is the living embodiment of temperance. But Marvin wasn't always like this. In Jeffy's 18th birthday, Marvin starts as a frustrated, anxious father who sees Jeffy as more of a burden than joy. His primary focus is on protecting Jeffy's $1 million inheritance, fearing his biological mother, Nancy, will ruin everything. Marvin's initial attitude reveals his struggle to fully embrace Jeffy as his son, as he is more concerned about avoiding chaos than celebrating Jeffy's birthday. When Nancy escapes prison and plots to kidnap Jeffy, Marvin is thrown into a storm of fear and responsibility. Throughout the episode, Marvin faces escalating challenges, from finding out Jeffy's biological dad is still alive, meaning that there is no more inheritance money. Later on, Marvin also gets kidnapped on top of many other intense moments throughout the video. By the end, Marvin experiences a pivotal moment of growth, as he realizes that Jeffy isn't just a responsibility or an annoyance, he's his son, someone he truly loves and wants to protect. Marvin's journey in this episode really shows his character growth, and the positive impact he has on his family. In comparison, Brooklyn Guy often faces the consequences of his indulgent actions he does in almost every video. Marvin's temperance allows him to overcome his challenges and remain reliable for those around him. Yet, he's not perfect, but he is still arguably the complete opposite of Brooklyn Guy. It's because of all this that Marvin takes the virtue of temperance, while Brooklyn Guy remains the king of gluttony. Junior has always been known to have a very strong hatred for Cody's mom, Judith. The two of them represent very different aspects, envy and kindness. Envy is described as the sin of jealousy over the blessings and achievements of others, while Kindness, on the other hand, represents the opposite, being compassionate towards other people. No other SML character best represents Envy than Junior, with his constant jealousy, bratty behavior, and demeaning jokes.
No, I'm the CEO of Papa John's. What's up, n***a?
Wow! You can't say that, dude!
Judith, on the other hand, is known for her incompetence and being very easily tricked. But regardless of this, she seems to always have the best intentions in mind. There has always been a constant rivalry between Junior and Cody's mom. But throughout all of the years of Junior making fun of Cody's mom, she has somehow never caught on to it. In fact, they even quote-unquote dated in SML movie Bowser Jr.'s Girlfriend. This video starts with Tyrone cheating on Judith. This is because Tyrone wants a younger woman. So Judith goes to Cody and he helps her make a machine to make her young again. The next day, she goes to school where, to no surprise, Junior relentlessly mocks her.
Oh, so she's a piglet now, a baby pig. Oink, 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 oink. All right, look, so I draw a big pig and it says, "Hi, I'm Cody's mom." Oink.
Oh, that's a big pig.
The teasing, though, becomes more of a recurring theme throughout the video. Despite this mistreatment, Judy remains kind and patient, showing affection towards Cody and maintaining a polite demeanor with others. Eventually, after Junior insults Cody's mom even more, he finally takes a look at her and realizes that she's young. Junior then tries to date Cody's mom until he has his first kiss, which turns Cody's mom back to normal. And then Junior goes right back to calling her a fat, ugly pig.
What is this, Shrek? What, that kid you turned into an ogre? It's a big fat ogre pig? Ew, what happened to you?
This video emphasizes Junior's immature, envy-filled humor, which contrasts sharply with Cody's mom's composed and caring nature. Her resilience and compassion shines through as she supports Cody, even while enduring the constant ridicule from his so-called friends. This dynamic highlights the mistreatment Cody and his mom face, but it also shows that Judith is the embodiment of kindness in the face of negativity. Similar to Cody's mom, Cody represents the heavenly virtue of patience, while on the other hand, Jeffy represents the sin of wrath. Most people describe wrath as extreme anger, which perfectly describes Jeffy when SML was back in its prime in 2017. In stark contrast to this, though, Cody represents patience, which is shown with his ability to not get mad under the constant bullying of Junior and Joseph, and even his parents. Man, Cody really can't catch a break. These characters, though, could not be any more different. Jeffy's anger is especially shown in the video called Jeffy Gets Bullied. In this video, Jeffy faces persistent bullying from his classmate Bully Bill, who throws paper balls at him and calls him derogatory names like the R slur.
I said, hey retard!
I would greatly appreciate if you stopped throwing paper balls at me. Thanks.
Despite Jeffy's attempts to ask Bully Bill to stop, the harassment continues, leading to Jeffy beating the ever-living hell out of Bully, which results in Jeffy being suspended from school. To address the situation, Jeffy's parents address him with a hidden camera to stop the bullying. The footage reveals Bully's ongoing torment, prompting the school to discipline him instead of Jeffy. This episode highlights how Jeffy won't take crap from anyone, even if that means getting into physical conflicts, which is pretty much the exact opposite to Cody, who usually takes the pacifist route to de-escalate the conflict. A video that further emphasizes Jeffy's wrath is one of the most infamous SML videos of all time, which happens to be Locked Out.
You know, I'll just leave it. Jeffy? Jeffy, where'd you go? What? Jeffy? Jeffy, unlock the door! Jeffy!
Mario then attempts multiple methods to re-enter the house, including trying to go through windows, the front door, and even the garage. But Jeffy thwarts each effort. Seeking assistance, Mario calls Brooklyn Guy, but Jeffy convinces Brooklyn Guy that Mario's an intruder, leading to Brooklyn Guy dismissing Mario's pleas. In a final attempt, Mario speaks to Jeffy through a security camera, promising him another chocolate cake if he unlocks the door. Jeffy agrees, and when Mario presents the cake, he hides it inside to gain entry. However, upon entering, Mario startles Jeffy, who then knocks him out again. At this moment, Brooklyn Guy returns and arrests Mario, mistaking him as a trespasser. This episode shows Jeffy's wrath isn't just limited to physical fights, but is also based in his unfair treatment and torture he frequently does with his dad Mario. In fact, this actually got so bad that a couple months later, SML made a video called Jeffy's Tantrum, which shows Jeffy's wrath in full motion.
Jeffy's being so annoying about that game. What the? Jeffy! Fuck you, Daddy, and fuck that couch!
This video was so controversial at the time that it ended up getting SML on Good Morning America, which inevitably led SML's channel to getting demonetized and them having to switch channels over 4 times. Jeffy quite clearly has some anger issues, but Cody is on the other side of the spectrum, being the one who's being bullied. But instead of fighting back like Jeffy, Cody always decides to keep his demeanor. His patience is tested in SML movie The Cover-Up, where Cody sneaks out of the house, but has an accident and loses his teeth at the park. In attempts to make a cover-up story, Junior decides to stage a fight at school, which results in multiple attempts of Junior beating up Cody for literally no reason.
I'm missing 3 of my teeth. Sharks are cool. I'd brush my teeth if I still had some. Junior, why are you picking up your desk? Junior, can you toss? Whoa, dude!
But despite all of this bullying, Cody somehow pushes through and sticks with the plan. But Cody doesn't just have patience in the face of bullying. He also somehow holds his composure in situations like SML movie The Test, where he has to do the impossible task of tutoring Junior and Jeffy so they can pass their test, which is literally impossible. I don't think Jeffy's ever passed a test in his life. But despite Junior and Jeffy's stupidity, Cody manages to push through and help them with their test, proving Cody is the king of patience, while Jeffy represents the sin of wrath. But similar to wrath, greed is also something that can really change you as a person, which is exemplified by Mr. Goodman. Meanwhile, Rose represents the opposite of charity. Most people think that charity is giving away or raising money for people in need, but it can also be known as having a pure heart. Despite all of the hate Rose gets, and all of the ex-boyfriends she has, and how annoying she can be, I think Rose actually represents charity pretty well with her actions and never wanting materialistic things. I know, the comment section is just gonna be brutal for this one. On the flip side, Mr. Goodman is the living embodiment of greed, which is described as a selfish desire for something, especially wealth and power, and Mr. Goodman checks all those boxes. These characters are completely different from one another. This is best shown in SML movie Goodman's New Life, where Mr. Goodman and Marvin switch bodies, and I'm sure you can guess how Goodman reacts to this when he finds out.
Bald and poor! I bet he's got a tiny wiener. Let me check. Tiny wiener!
Despite Goodman's mistreatment of Rose and Marvin's body, Rose continues to give forgiveness to him on multiple occasions. She even still makes him breakfast after all of the mean things that Mr. Goodman said to her. Rose's charity is really shown though in SML movie Rich Mario, where Goodman drops off gold at Mario's house because the IRS is gonna be raiding it soon, and he doesn't want the government to find it so he can save money on his taxes. With all of this wealth, Mario gets tempted by the thought of stealing the money, but Rose disagrees with this, telling him that it's a bad idea.
I could sell that and get $1 million like right now.
Mario, we can't do that.
I mean, think about it, baby. That's $8 million. He's a billionaire. He's not gonna notice if like $1 million goes missing.
Mario, but that's stealing and it's dishonest.
So what do we do then?
Let's just sit here and be poor.
Mario then goes on to sell some of these gold bars so he can buy a bunch of drip. When Rose sees this, she gets particularly disappointed, but she stays strong and refuses to take any of the gifts from the dirty money that Mario is offering. After Mario offers a bunch more things, she eventually leaves because she doesn't want to have any part of this. A while later, Goodman comes back to get his money, but as you could imagine, he is not happy when he sees that most of his gold is gone, so he makes Mario get it all back for him, which I gotta think, is that even worth the time for him? Because they mentioned one of those gold bars in the video is worth $1 million, but if Goodman's a trillionaire, why would he care so much about one of his gold bars being missing? In fact, why would he even drop the gold bars off at Mario's house not to get taxed on them in the first place? Like, this literally doesn't make any sense, but okay. Anywho, Mario returns the stolen golden bar and Rosalina comes back, but nothing changed now that Mario isn't rich, really showing that Rose doesn't care about the money. While greed isolates Goodman, Rose's charity strengthens her relationships. Next, we have Sloth versus Diligence. Most people describe the sin of Sloth as a lack of concern for oneself and others, and a refusal to contribute, which is perfectly represented by Shrek. On the other hand, Woody is the living embodiment of diligence, which is described as constantly putting in a serious effort to accomplish a task, no matter the circumstances. On most days, Shrek is just sitting on the toilet, eating cheesecake, and making others clean up after his messes.
Oh, doggy. Oh, doggy. It's gonna be Hiroshima in here.
Shrek.
Oh, donkey. Oh. Ah, donkey. I can't see. Am I blind? Mario. Dear God.
Despite Shrek always being a nuisance, he has tried to change his ways. In SML movie Shrek's Diet, Shrek's excessive cheesecake consumption leads to a health crisis. While indulging in cheesecake in the bathroom, Shrek experiences a heart attack and collapses. Mario discovers him unconscious and calls Brooklyn Guy, who diagnoses Shrek with severe health issues, including high cholesterol and diabetes, and his blood being made out of cheesecake, apparently. The doctor warns that without immediate lifestyle changes, Shrek will die. Determined to help, Mario enforces a strict routine of healthy exercise and eating. He replaces Shrek's beloved cream cheese cheesecake with salads and takes him to the gym. Despite Shrek's initial resistance, requiring Mario and Chef Pee-Pee to force feed him salad and motivate him with cheesecake placed at the end of a treadmill, he eventually loses over 450 pounds. However, Shrek's results diminish when he succumbs to the temptation of eating an entire platter of cheesecake, regaining the weight. Mario, disheartened by this, realizes that Shrek will never change his unhealthy habits. But Woody, on the other hand, is the complete opposite, representing diligence. And the best example of Woody's diligence is in SML movie The Asteroid, where Mario and Jeffy learn from a news broadcast that a massive asteroid is on a collision course towards Earth. Dr. Frederick Finkelschitz proposes several outlandish solutions, such as building a giant baseball bat or a trampoline to deflect the asteroid, but these ideas are dismissed due to the time constraints. Eventually, Dr. Finkelschitz develops a shrink ray to reduce the asteroid's size. However, the shrink ray malfunctions, transforming the asteroid into a colossal shrimp instead. This unexpected turn leads to the reintroduction of Woody, a character known for his love of hunting shrimp. Woody takes on the challenge of defeating the giant shrimp, ultimately saving the world from impending doom. Woody taking this selfless action to save the world is in stark contrast to Shrek's actions of constantly indulging in cheesecake and mooching off of Mario. While they both live in Mario's house, Woody runs his own shrimpo hunting business, while Shrek is unemployed and mooches off of Mario for money, really showing why Woody represents diligence and why Shrek represents sloth. While Woody's diligence highlights the value of hard work, not everybody uses their abilities or achievements to lift others. Some people let their pride take center stage, which brings us to our next pair, pride versus humility. Pride is often described as an excessive love of oneself and one's excellence. No other SML character represents pride better than Hank Huckerdoo, with him always trying to win Lawn of the Year competition, to him having a giant trophy collection, and him trying to show off to Marvin at literally every chance he gets. Hank perfectly describes pride. On the flip side, Joseph is the living embodiment of humility, which essentially just means the same thing as being humble. The contrast between these two characters could not be any more different, with Hank's pride being prominently shown in SML movie The Huckerdoos, which is actually the video where the Huckerdoos get introduced. In this episode, Marvin and Rose, exhausted from Jeffy's antics, are disturbed by the sound of a lawnmower from their new neighbors.
Jeffy, you've been doing that for 12 hours straight. Oh, what's that?
It sounds like a lawnmower.
Hank Huckerdoo, the father, introduces himself and invites Marvin over, revealing their ambition to win Yard of the Year competition for the 11th consecutive year in a row. Inside, Marvin meets Hank's wife, Suzanne, and their children, Susie and Timmy. Their children attempt to sing Wheels on the Bus, but their performance displeases Hank, who reacts angrily, exposing his strict and volatile nature. Hank shows Marvin the chart of the Hucker-Do's and Hucker-Don'ts, emphasizing their family's perfectionist standards. He then criticizes Marvin's lawn, prompting Marvin to seek help from Brooklyn Guy to improve it. Despite Brooklyn Guy's assistance, Marvin becomes the target of ridicule from both Brooklyn Guy and Hank. Determined to to compete, Jeffy spray paints the grass green. During the award ceremony, Judge Steve Staleberger notices Marvin's unnaturally green lawn, and upon closer inspection, discovers the paint. Coincidentally, Hank retains the Yard of the Year trophy, while Marvin receives a Worst Lawn award for cheating. Hank in this episode shows a lot of pride with his yard and his trophy collection. However, Joseph represents the complete opposite, humility. In SML movie The South Pole Santa, the boys are talking about what they want for Christmas.
Pick up my list. I want a family, food.
I want a home. I want water, electricity too for the home. I would like a bed, to sleep in, clothes, and socks, match the clothes. AC for when it's hot, because the summer is way too hot.
And love.
Or at least we put the same thing for number 10.
It's actually refreshing to see Joseph being so humble and asking for just the bare essentials in life, in contrast to Junior in this episode wanting a bunch of obscene things. But it turns out that later in this video, Joseph finally gets what he deserves for being a good person. Kind of. He gets third-degree burns all over his body from the boiling water, sending him to the hospital, which on face value seems bad, but it turns out that it actually checked all the boxes from his Christmas list.
Wait. Cody, look at this. Joseph wanted family, and me and you are technically his only family, so he has his family.
Yeah.
He's in the hospital, so they'll probably feed him, so he has food, and you want a home, and the hospital's technically like a home, right?
Ooh, doctor, can you kiss him?
I kiss all my patients. Mwah.
Hank and Joseph could not be more different in the way they act, but neither can the next pair, Chef Pee-Pee and Ken, who represent the sin of lust versus the heavenly virtue of chastity. And no, you're hearing that right, Ken. And I mean, yes, I know he's just a doll, but let me explain. Most people describe the sin of lust as having a strong desire for sexual pleasure, which is perfectly embodied by Chef Pee-Pee. Ken represents the heavenly virtue of chastity, which is abstaining from sexual activity that is considered immoral or improper. Which I mean, because obviously, like, he's a doll. How would he even do that? I mean, I guess you can argue he does it with Cody, but he is a doll, so like, does that even count? Probably not. I had to choose Ken for chastity because I literally couldn't think of a single other SML character that represents it, but let me know down in the comments below if you can think of anyone else. In stark contrast to Ken though, Chef Pee-Pee is hands down the most lustful SML character, and this is highlighted in SML movie Boys Night Out, where the four boys go to Applebee's, the casino, and the strip club, and Chef Pee-Pee's actions in this video really shows why he's the most lustful SML character.
Oh, and I want a steak.
How would you like that cooked?
Shit, on your fine ass, on that wagon back there? Yeah, medium well.
His lust is also shown in this clip.
Yeah, I was making room for dessert, so come lay your fine ass on this plate, or sit on Big Daddy's mustache and I'll give you a licking.
And this one too.
Oh, alright, bitch, I got $350 in one, so let me see that ass twerk a little bit. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, meet me in the bathroom right now.
There are so many more examples of Chef Pee-Pee being lustful, and the fact that he's never had a true girlfriend really doesn't help his lustful actions, making Chef Pee-Pee the living embodiment of lust, and Ken the not-so-living embodiment of chastity.